Good morning. So I thought for a quick update this week, I would show you a couple tiny little things that I'm doing to some of the bikes because I'm I've been thinking a lot about this like super high detail thing that I've been talking about and hopefully showing on some of the bikes. Thinking through those tiny little details that really, I think, make the difference between one kind of bike and another. Let's not pass judgment. Anyway, so I have been using these water bottle cages on many, if not most, of my bikes for a good long time now. I have a stash of them. These are, let's see if I can get to show there. These are King cages, and based on the stampings on this one, you could tell that it is stainless steel, tubular, and these are, if you've never played with one of these are made by Ron Andrews out in Colorado. They are made by hand by him and a very small crew, mostly working out of basements right now. This is tubular stainless steel. This is all hand welded. And these things, they're available in a couple different configurations. So you can get these offset if you need to get your water bottle cage lower on a frame. They make a few different versions of them, and they make a bunch of other stuff as well. But these things are, I think they retail for like $18, right? Which is not crazy money for a water bottle cage. I realize it's more than like the, $5 or $10 version at the bike shop. But these ones don't send water bottles careening down the trail or the road. They last forever. They weigh hardly anything, and they're entirely American made. So these are the gold standard for me in water bottle cages. That's why I prefer to use them. And I realize that they don't come in lots of colors, although some people have taken these and Cerakoted them, or painted them, or powder coated them, or whatever to make them look aesthetically more along the lines of what they're looking for. But these are gold standard. These are the jam. Now sometimes in the bike world you end up with like known best, right? Like people would say that like a Chris King headset is like, it's just the one you get because it's like, right? These are kind of that for water bottle cages, and I realize that that's a little bit crazy to talk about water bottle cages that way, but they really are that good. Also, this thing weighs next to nothing. I think, I'm not a weight weenie particularly, but these are less than 30 grams, right? Like they're really, really very, very light, and they last forever. So these are the gold standard, okay? And I've got a pile, and they're a delight, and you should totally order some from him off his website. Not sponsored. But as good as these are, he does make a somewhat more special version. And I have lucked into a pair of those that are going to go onto my Waltworks. Yeah, there's a pair of these here, and that looks like the exact same thing, doesn't it? You'll notice the gauge of the tubing is a little bit different. Yeah, that's because these are tubular titanium, and holy heck, are they both extremely pretty. But gosh, that doesn't weigh much, hardly at all. These things are just sort of staggeringly lightweight. Hand TIG welded. These are earlier ones, so that's all hand TIG welded. The newest ones, I believe he has moved to laser welding on. He's been working on a jig for doing that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I lucked into a pair of these things, and whew, they are, if you want that extra, like above and beyond, if you want something that says, I care deeply about stupid details, this is that. These things are just staggeringly good. Now look at a lot of water bottle cages. I don't know if you've ever looked. If you get like a regular aluminum water bottle cage, when they bend them, they bend this and they bend here and here, and they work their way up, and then they get up to here, and there's often like a slip joint or something up here where they put the weld on it, but that's unsupported, right? So what Ron does is he actually puts the weld here so it's supported by the bracket, so you get, yeah, it's just every detail that could possibly be thought of the water bottle cage, man. And again, these Thai ones, they are very. Listen, this is me talking, but these are very expensive for a water bottle cage. On the other hand, you will never buy another water bottle cage, right? Like, this is it. It does not get any better than this. I don't care what carbon fiber side loading weirdo thing you got. This thing is the jam. And like I said, I lucked into a pair of these things. They are going to go on the Waltworks because I could. Like, that's literally it. Because I could. And they are a thing of beauty, which led me to well, not a problem, but a concern. So my Waltworks on the down tube has 2 water bottle cage setups, so you can actually run them like in tandem, like that on the here, like that on the down tube, right? Bottle, obviously spaced so that it all fits. But one of the things with that bike is that the bike itself is, I'm gonna say it's black, even though it's not really black. We've been over that. It's full of sparkles. Is the water bottle cage bolts on it. The ones that Walt sent with it are stainless steel, and they're totally lovely. Like, they're really nice water bottle bolts, if that's such a thing. They're stainless steel. They're not plated. They're not, whatever else. But they're silver, and the frame is black, and I'm trying to keep it looking like it's blacked out while simultaneously being hilariously colorful. So these. Now, let's talk detail here. This is, technically speaking, if you want to hunt this down, this is a button head, and this is a M5 by 10. Okay, which is what most water bottle bolts are. That means that up here, that's a 3mm Allen head. And this is an M5 thread here, and this is 10 millimeters long for threading. Again, fairly conventional dimensions of a water bottle cage bolt. And I know this looks black, and it is black. And most bolts that are black like this are what's called black oxide bolts. That is to say, they are steel, and then they have a black oxide on top of them, and that's it. They are extremely rust prone. And they are not meant for settings that are going to get, they aren't meant for settings that are going to get hit with much water at all. However, that is not what these are. This is a black oxide coated stainless steel bolt. These won't rust. They are black. They are strong. I thought about going, you can get alloy water bottle bolts, right? You can get this type of bolt in an alloy, like an aluminum, and in fancy anodized colors, like, for example, in my case, black, and they're fine. I get worried about breaking those bolts off with the weight of a full water bottle on there and all that. That's just my paranoia. I would prefer the steel. I'm not after the ultimate weight savings with that, but I did want that little extra bit of blackout. So these guys are going to get swapped in for all of the bolts on that bike. And that's going to give it that little tiny bit extra. Now, I would point out, I got these bolts. There are many places you can get bolts like this. You're not going to find them in this. You're going to find, if you find black ones like this at like a big box store, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, they're going to be regular black oxide, and you shouldn't use those because they're just going to rust in your frame, and that's bad news bears. If you want this, you're going to have to go to a bolt distributor. I went to McMaster Car, because they're gold standard for that stuff, and I ordered 2 bags of 10 each, so I got 20 of them for using these across a few bikes. And it's one of those details no one's ever going to notice, but it's going to make me happy. I should say they sell this bolt in brass, if you want that little hit of brass on like your cruiser or whatever, and you want that patina to show up, you can get these in brass. I think you can get them in titanium, although they're quite expensive. And again, there's basically no weight settings to be had there. If you want to actually go light, you should track them down in alloy and go that route. Like I said, they don't weigh much, and I'm not a weight weenie, but I am an aesthetic one. So there we are. These are the new jam, right? Kind of fancy bolts, stainless that are black with titanium tubular water bottle cages from Ron. So yeah, those are the new details for the mountain bike. I just wanted to sort of share like the neuroses of where I'm at, of the ridiculous things that I'm thinking about. None of this will make any difference to how the bike rides, but it will make the difference to me. So, all right, talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.